there, it's Vicki McCarthy from Aussie Stampers. Thank you very much for joining me again today. In my last video, I showed you from the most amazing card kit ever video, which is about the Oh Happy Day card kit, which is coming in the new catalogue. I put together the 5 matchbook size cards, and today we're going to be working with the next size up, which are the heart-shaped heart fold cards. So these fold into a different kind of a shape, and I'm going to show you all the elements you need for each of these cards so that when you're putting your kit together you can get the right pieces for each of the size cards. What I did with the kit was I put all of the kit out onto my dining room table and laid out every single card in the kit with its elements on top of it like this, so that I made sure that I had everything in the kit that I needed for each card. And some of these pieces are different sizes. So for instance, this gold banner here, I would describe as the long skinny banner, whereas there are thicker banners and shorter banners. This would be probably the large gold heart. It is the large gold heart that's in the kit. There are different shapes with stripes and plain pieces. The plain pieces are generally for stamping on, and I'll show you the stamping off camera. I'll do that stamping off camera and bring it back to you. But these are generally the pieces you need. So on the instructions, you will see that each card, here they are across here and the 5th one up the top, tells you whether you need this element or a flower element, or maybe here's the gold heart here I was talking about. But it gives you the measurements for your twine. So for instance, this piece of twine on our party time card is cut to 18 inches. This one here on the friend card is cut to 10 inches. And 10 inches on the pink. So these are the pieces of twine that we have to put it all together. And again, there's some more twine on the green one as well. And that I just ended up with what was left of my twine. There were 4 cards that have this twine underneath it, so I just divided it into 4 with what I had left. So that's quite a long piece, but that's going to be curved around underneath like this piece here. So I'm going to get the stamping done and get back to you and show you how they look put together and go over the elements and how I put them together. Now here is one of the cards almost completed. You can see I've done the stamping, and when you're stamping, the tip is to use your stamping mat, Stamp and Pierce mat. Get a fine black marker just to fill in any spaces where you feel you need a little bit of extra outline, and take this length of twine, which is quite a long piece. As I said, when I divided up all of the pieces on my dining room table, the twine that was left I just divided into 4. So you just run it through your bone folder, and that takes any kinks out of it. You just have to do it quite gently. I've put these pieces together. So I've used Fast Fuse here, I've used Tombow multi-adhesive here, I've stamped this section here, and now what I want to show you is how to put the twine around in a circular fashion, or roughly circular. You don't want it too exact actually. The idea is that it's going to look a little bit random, but the way I like to do it is to tuck in the ends and grab the dimensionals that are included in the kit and put your dimensionals so they're sort of half on and half off. Now remember that this is going to be over the top, so you want your shapes, I'm just going to grab the instructions here, you want your shapes to fit on, so it's going to fit about there like that, just so that it matches this piece here. So I'm aware that this is the outline, and I want my twine to come underneath that where I'm pushing it together. So what I'm going to do is smoosh it into the middle, and there's 2 dimensionals there. I actually want to put a dimensional just in by itself as well to hold my stamped piece on and just check that they're not going to be showing. And I've got a tail end here. Now you can have the tail sticking out if you want to, but I'm a bit fussy with it, so I'm just going to pop that tail underneath and stick it to the side of that dimensional. And the other thing I want to do is just put a couple more dimensionals straight onto that black and white stripy piece, just to make sure this holds really firmly, because you can see that one's starting to lift. It's holding the twine together, but my piece here will lift if I don't have something that's actually attached right down onto the black and white piece. So 3 of them are attached onto the black and white. These 2, this is attached onto the green cardstock. So I've got 5 dimensionals there. That's definitely going to be enough to keep all those pieces together. And all I'm going to do now is just pull them where I want them to be before I put my last piece on, so that you can see little bits of this twine winding in and out throughout the project. And there's no right or wrong to this. So I'll just take the tops off those. You could do this with glue dots. You could also do it with multi-adhesive, Tombow Multi. All of those would work. But this is the way I like to do it, because it needs some dimensional anyway. So I want it to stand up and pop away from the page anyway. So the dimensionals are perfect for this. And then just line it up so you can't see any of those dimensionals popping out anywhere. And then you can still play with it and zhuzh it a little bit, however you want it to be. Pull some pieces out and down and around. So you've got this sensation of twine under there, but it's kind of doing its own thing. I kind of like it a little bit more, yeah, like that. Okay, so that's how to do that one. Now I've got some tips on the other ones as well. The next one is the yellow one. And with this one, the tips I have for you are, I adhered this orange piece with fast fuse, then I popped up the doily and I popped up the floral piece, and then I put the party time on with fast fuse. I also found that I needed to trim this white piece down a bit so it would show behind the green, and I think that they do that purposely so it makes it easier to line it up. If you don't quite get it lined up, you've still got a little bit of leeway. So I just trimmed the white with some snips. The bow I put on with a rolled glue dot, and I showed you how to do that in the last video in part 1 of this series. So there's the second card. Next card, the tips for this one are, now I think when I opened this kit I told you that this gold piece was the longest gold piece. I actually went and double checked, and no, it is the second longest gold piece. You'll need the longer gold piece for one of the bigger cards, so just a little reminder there. I adhered the doily with fast fuse, and I adhered the floral image with fast fuse. Then I popped up the gold with 3 dimensionals underneath it, and then I adhered the hello there with fast fuse, and I put the little pink heart on with Tombow Multi. And the tip for the bow to hold it in place so it doesn't slip around is I put a glue dot behind it just to hold the piece of string on here while I tied the bow, and that made it really much easier to work with. So that's your little tip for that one. And the final one, the tips for this one are fast fuse on the base, then I popped up the stripy piece, I popped up the white piece, I popped up the heart, and I tied the ribbon, the bow of twine around the white piece and adhered it with a glue dot. So there are the 2, 3, 4, 5th one to come. This is the final one. This was really a simple one. This is the simplest one of all, but I did find I needed to line this up so that this tucked into the edge of the heart, and this was in the corner. And I popped up this little black and white banner, and I popped up the floral image, and that's that one completed as well. And of course they all had the envelopes, which I just folded with a bone folder. So you have envelopes to go with all of those. Grab that one there. And I'll move that away so it looks really, really pretty for the final shot. So that's part 2 of the most amazing card kit ever. This is the Oh Happy Day card kit, which is in the new catalogue, which goes live on the 1st of June. So join me again tomorrow for part 3, and I'll do the next size up cards and put them all together for you and give you some more tips on how to assemble this kit. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and you'll be able to purchase this from my store as from the 1st of June. And I'm looking forward to having you join me again tomorrow for part 3 of the series. Bye for now.